at these faces. These are the faces of strength and adventure, bravery, kindness, and fun. These are the faces of our community, a community that never gives up, where these faces, they always find a way to help each other out. And that's exactly what we need to do right now, help each other. As we move to reopen our schools, we need to take extra care to be sure everyone stays healthy, safe, and supported. Our game plan is thoughtful and thorough, but it nevertheless asks us to make some changes to our routine. Changes that help us protect these faces. Changes that we can make. Changes that we must make for each other. To help us all adapt to these changes, let's walk step by step through what a day at school will look like. Through this process, we're asking for your flexibility as some details will shift with time. As the COVID-19 situation changes, we will continue to adapt. We're doing our best to build a consistent experience for you and know that we will keep you informed of any updates. It's also important to understand that each student, teacher, staff member, and family will have different feelings toward COVID-19 and comfort levels with each other, and that's okay. But we need to be kind and respectful and work together for each other. Starting from the beginning of the day, students need to be free of any symptoms or signs of sickness. We are asking you to conduct a symptom screening and check temperatures at home to be sure no one is above 99.5 degrees on a touchless thermometer or 100.4 on an oral or ear thermometer without any fever-reducing medication such as Tylenol or ibuprofen. If anyone is sick, they have to stay home, even if you don't think it's COVID-19. The bus driver and all students will need to wear a face covering and socially distance as much as possible. The first two seats will remain empty for appropriate distancing and windows will be down to increase ventilation when appropriate. All school buses will be disinfected between trips. Once the bus reaches school, or if the student is being dropped off or has driven themselves, they will be temperature checked with a touchless thermometer. If a student measures 99.5 or higher, they will discreetly be isolated, evaluated by a nurse, and sent home if needed. Once inside the building, students will go directly to their homeroom or first period class. If a student requires breakfast, they can first go to the cafeteria for a grab-and-go option, and then head to their homeroom or first period class. Students will be required to wear a face covering, especially in high-traffic areas such as the hallways. Each student will be provided their own personal protective barrier to be stationed on their desk during class. This additional safety measure will allow students to take mask breaks when desks are less than 6 feet apart. If students rotate classrooms, the protective barrier will be taken with them and returned to their homeroom at the end of the day. Once students are seated at their desks, if their desks are 6 feet from each other, they will be allowed to remove their face covering. If there isn't enough space to spread out, students, teachers, and staff will wear face coverings. The classroom is where students spend the most time, and it's where they can have the biggest impact on keeping each other safe. Respecting other students and teachers will allow everyone to feel safe and have the best learning environment. Shared materials and group work will be minimized or completely avoided if there are any active COVID-19 cases within the district. At the secondary level, teachers will be given supplies to sanitize frequently touched surfaces. Lunchtime will likely be where things look the most different. At the elementary level, students will eat in their classrooms. At the middle school, students that purchase lunch will be spread out between the cafeterias, and students who brought their lunch will be spread out in the LGI. At the high school, students will be spread out between the cafeteria and the old gym. Beyond the classrooms and cafeterias are other communal spaces. Frequently touched surfaces will be disinfected throughout the day. At this time, we are closing playground equipment. The elementary cafeteria will be closed as well. We are replacing drinking fountains with touchless water bottle filling stations, and students can bring their own reusable water bottles. We've also upgraded the filter quality of our HVAC systems and will be performing more frequent filter changes. We won't be able to allow non-essential volunteers and visitors. And if you are a parent or guardian picking up your student, you'll stay in the vestibules unless directed otherwise by staff. You'll also need to wear a face covering, and we'll have disposable masks available if you forget to bring one. Although our goal is to minimize the risk of COVID-19 exposure for all students, faculty, and staff, there remains a possibility of someone getting sick. If there is a confirmed case in any building or bus, we want you to know, and we'll communicate with every available method. Of course, no information about any student or staff member will ever be shared. Individuals who have tested positive for COVID-19 or have COVID-19 symptoms with potential exposure and have been directed to care for themselves at home or a facility may return to school if they meet all of the following criteria. 10 days have passed since the onset of symptoms, fever-free with no fever-reducing medications for 24 hours, and COVID-19 symptoms have improved. Even with our best efforts to keep our students safe, we understand that some may still be uncomfortable with in-person learning. If that is the case for you, we have remote learning options in combination with flexible scheduling. First, students can attend and participate in classes via video conference technology. This allows them to be virtually present with their fellow classmates. The second option is a self-paced curriculum called the Wildcat Online Learning Academy, or WOLA. This option allows students to find a rhythm and routine that works best for their specific needs. Look at these faces, smiling, through masks, through glass, from a distance, and in class. Because together, we'll spread kindness, respect, and good health, and we'll do it for each other. That's Wildcat Pride.